Hey, yo! So for all of you and probably everyone in Genshin right now, we have seen the second phase of 4.4 kick in with some very interesting characters that got rerun. Okay, really? Come on. Oh my god! Back to what I was saying though, the two characters that got rerun was Xiao and Yae Miko. They are both very interesting characters which I'm about to talk about today, and they also are very big decision makers when it comes to new people that are starting this game or late game in general. Before any of that though, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, or maybe even comment anything about this video if you guys need help with anything like your account, or maybe even questions for this video. I will try to respond as fast as I can, and that's the only thing I really do. So, to start off with this topic completely, I want to talk about what differences they have between each other and some things that are very similar. Keep in mind, I'm only going to talk about comparison in this video just because it's the main topic, and that's what the results you guys need. Xiao and Yae Miko do have a chance to play similar roles as main field, but the best outcome on the role from one of these characters is definitely Xiao. This guy's whole entire character trait mainly pays attention to hyper carry main DPS rather than Yae Miko's roles, which he plays as a sub DPS or a burst support. I did say that she has a main DPS role, but it does lack on it sometimes, and I think the other roles are just way more better. Her entire kit only bases off of you relaxing, but Xiao's is just much more hyperactive that you can do so much with him. What I do believe is very true is that Yae Miko does place herself in many other team comps rather than Xiao just because of her element being Electro, and is also a choice of support. There's actually something very interesting and mostly a coincidence about Xiao is that you could actually run Yae Miko and Raiden on the same team as him. Xiao has team comps where you could run Raiden as a support on his team, but there is also another one where you can include Yae Miko as an off-field DPS support. Moving on to a different topic though, I do want to talk about the very big things between investing and what it mainly goes on for both of these characters. Yae Miko's talent, artifacts, or maybe even ascension level farming is not that bad, but it is something that you have to pay attention towards if you are a new player that's unlocking new content. You will not be able to go as far with her if you are doing stuff before Inazuma. For Xiao though, everything is most likely included in Liyue, which also makes him something very versatile earlier, and also a strong unit moving forward. He also has very good varieties in the starting domains, like you could see Gladiators and Viridescent. They are both very early on artifact holders, and on top of that factor, Xiao's best artifact set actually used to be 2-piece Glad and 2-piece Viridescent Hunt. The reason why I say Hunt and not this right here is because I can't read. The downside to Xiao though is definitely his late game just because it requires so much investment and much of your time just to get a perfect Xiao. I do not want to say the same thing for Yae Miko just because she does have variety in many artifact sets as possible, and there's a bunch of other substats that can go well with her to even support that factor. Furthermore, I want to make this part somewhat simple for you guys just because it is something very long to go through and it is something that's also very easy to identify. The reason why I said it was easy because Xiao has one of the worst constellations ever to exist in the game, and I don't blame that because he is somewhat very powerful to the game right now, and he's also a very early character. On the other hand though, Yae Miko has very interesting constellations which also make up some part of her and also something very useful. I'm definitely adding C1 and C2 for the reasons of more active time and maybe even more damage. Her little soccer things that she places will have its level doubled and the range increased by 60 more percent. I also added C1 into this just because she does lack in energy recharge most of the time, so this constellation, being it gives more energy on her ult, it will help her out too much. She will gain 8 energy for every thunderbolt that comes around from her ult, which stacks up to 3 at the most part, and considering that factor, you can get up to 24 energy back. If we were to add 4 of these last constellations though, they are just added bonuses, like C3 and C5 just upgrade the talent points, and then her C4 just upgrades her electro damage bonus that she shares across her party members. Back to Xiao though, the only good constellation this guy really has is definitely C1. This constellation alone does give him an extra charge on his dash, which means that Xiao will have more than enough energy for himself and also makes C2 very useless. Like, come on, look at this. This is something that is not even that impactful and I just think so useless. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that his C6 is actually not that bad, but it is something that can be useless in some case, and in most of the time, it will not feel like it's a C6 worthy. You can't say the same thing for Yae Miko when it comes to her C6, but this constellation though will come at a cost of $1,000 just to make her a very good sub DPS and maybe even a main DPS. Lastly, to end this video off, I do want to answer the question of which one should you pull. Here's the thing, Yae Miko is somewhat of a very good character if you do link her up with the right Dendro units, but if you were to put her at a very low investment and maybe even an earlier standpoint, she can be somewhat mid or even bad at that, which lowers her interest rate by a lot. On the other hand though, I do recommend Xiao just because he does have his places almost everywhere, but just keep in mind that he does require lots of investment towards just to make him somewhat of a very good character. If we were to be very legit right now, none of these are really bad characters considering that some 4 stars are even worse, and in fact, everyone can pull for anyone they want and there's no restriction beside it. Wow. This is something very beautiful. Anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, or maybe even comment anything about this video. If you guys need help with your account, or maybe even questions for this video, I will try to respond as fast as I can, and that's the only thing I really do. Sxyrax out, bye bye.